like you have to learn how to talk to people, learn how to build that rapport. That everybody's not trying, to bow about you. You gotta learn how to calm people down with your words. But some people just don't receive that training.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
You're listening to the Black and Blue Podcast, a discussion and celebration of the roles of African Americans and other minorities in U.S. law enforcement. Your host on the Black and Blue Podcast is Dale Peters, a law enforcement professional with over 20 years experience in the business. Hop on board this Black and Blue train of interviews, current events, and pop culture conversations. So get ready. The Black and Blue Podcast is coming at you right now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Black and Blue Podcast. My name is Dale. I'm the host. Thank you for joining me here today. I really appreciate each and every last one of you for helping this show grow beyond what I thought it could be. I love talking to officers from all over this great nation of ours, so that you can see, that we're human beings. This show is really about humanizing the badge, and today is no different. I've got a 4-year veteran of the Burke County Sheriff's Office in Burke County, Georgia. Everybody, please help me welcome in Sergeant Sheriff McCants. How you doing, sir?
Hi, sir. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you for joining me here today.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, all right. So, I love that background you got right there, that car back there. That's what's up.
Yeah, that was my
like
old
that.
car right there, sir.
Okay. All right. Cool. That does say Burke County. It says the name on your patch represents who hired you. The name on your nameplate represents who raised you. Okay. Yes. Definitely. So I mentioned that you are a 4-year veteran of the Burke County Sheriff's Office in Burke County, Georgia. Real quick, tell everybody where that is for those of us that don't know where Burke County is.
It's in Georgia, right below Augusta, Georgia, in between Savannah. It's roughly one of the biggest counties in Georgia. It's about 835 square miles. Mostly rural. It's about 20 to 30,000 citizens in the county.
Okay, all right. And how large is your department?
It's going to be about 110 to 120 man department. We do full service law enforcement, and we do a detention center.
Nice. And I mentioned you were there. You've been there for 4 years. What do you do there now?
I'm the sergeant over in narcotics.
Okay, all right. How long you been doing that?
I just got promoted over to that position in October of 2020.
Nice. And what sort of narcotics investigations are you guys doing? You guys doing street buys, or what are you guys doing over there?
Well, we do a mixture of it. Like I said, we'll do street buys, or then we'll have where we do takedowns, or basically just surveilling areas to make sure we'll build up enough, probable cause to maybe get a search warrant to hit a house if we need to.
All right, nice. And then, we talked off air that you've had a few other jobs. Where else you worked in law enforcement before Burke County?
I actually started in the city that my extra service department is in, Waynesboro Police Department. I started my career off there. Then I went to Payne College, which is a college that's up there in Augusta, Georgia. And then I transferred over to Richmond County Board of Education School System, which is a school system for the Augusta area, which starts from K to 12. And then my current sheriff, who was chief back then, got elected sheriff, and he became the sheriff of Burke County. And then he brought me over to the sheriff department.
All right. Yep. It pays to be in good with the people above you, right? Don't burn those bridges, right?
Yes, sir. Don't do that.
Nah, don't do that. Who's the sheriff over there right now that you're talking about?
Sheriff Alfonzo Williams.
Okay. All right. Well, good. I'm glad that is this a better move for you from where you were?
Yes, sir. I like kids, but dealing with kids in that aspect, it can be a challenge. Say juveniles have been one of the struggles of law enforcement.
Yes, it is. You know what? Real quick, are the schools open over there in Georgia now?
Some of them are. Some are closing, like where my kids go to school at, which is Richmond County. Some classes or schools were open, but they're slowly starting to close them down and start moving over to the virtual. My kids been virtual the whole school year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, out here in California, we've been virtual.
Yeah,
out here in Cali, we've been virtual. Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. They're thinking about opening back up. I was an SRO, still an SRO, school resource officer for one of the high schools in my city. And then since we've been closed, they kind of transferred me over to the Detective Bureau. So I'm working internet crimes right now. But it's interesting. It's a trip. You know, my son was a senior last year, and he missed his prom and his graduation. All that stuff that we got to do. So it's sad. I got a daughter in high school now, so hopefully she'll be back. She can go to her prom because I know it's more special for girls, right? So
yeah.
Yeah. Although I like my prom though. It was fun. It was fun.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. Now we partied.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, we won't get into that. We can get us both in trouble. You know. So yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So out there in Burke County, you are in narcotics, but what have you done before you were in narcotics?
Well, I started off on Road Patrol Division, and I was on there for about 11 months, and I got moved over to the Crime Suppression Division, which is basically like proactive patrol, and that's basically where I spent most of my time. I enjoyed that. And then about a year or two after that, I got promoted to sergeant for night shift, and I did that for about a year. And then recently, like I said, they had not hiring process, but promotions for narcotics. I put in for it, and I was selected to be one of the narcotics investigators.
Okay, all right. And then, so like I said, you've been doing that for 4 years. How do you like it?
Oh, I enjoy it. I enjoy crime suppression is probably one of my biggest things I enjoy doing because I like doing interdiction work. But where I'm at, we don't have a real interstate run through our county like that. Like most of the guys that work in interdiction, but I just enjoy sitting on the highway watching people and behaviors, how they change when they see me passing my vehicle, stuff like that. Being good at interviews and talking to people is something that I enjoy doing.
Okay, yeah. So you get to do a lot of that a little bit there. I noticed that you got a little bit of size on you. I ran into you on LinkedIn is how we hooked up, and you post a lot of videos with you working out and you go in there like a beast, I must say.
Yes,
what sort of athletic background do you have?
Like I said, in high school, I did football and wrestling. I did participate in soccer and track, but we did soccer just to stay in shape. I'm not gonna say I knew how to play the game, but we just ran around to stay in shape. But wrestling and football were my biggest things. And then I also have been doing karate for about 15 years. My cousin and my uncle they owned a karate school in Alabama. They brought up in Georgia, and then I trained with them for a while.
All right, so you know karate and crazy, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Never know when you're gonna have to use it.
Yeah, exactly. What level are you in karate, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm fifth degree black belt.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so you know how to do you participate in like the defensive tactics of your department, or are you part of that team? Or
I know, like I said, for us, like I don't know how it is in California. In Georgia, you got to be a post-certified instructor. You got to go off to defensive tactics school, and I haven't been able to do that yet.
Okay, yeah. You would think it would kind of help out, though. In our line of work to be able to know how to defend yourself and takedowns and all those sort of things, so that the big thing that's been going on in our nation really is BLM and all those things that happen towards that because of that, but also training for officers to not have to shoot or not feel like they need to shoot in certain situations because some officers can't handle themselves. They go straight for the firearm. So to be able to handle themselves without that, a lot of times, I don't like debating unless it's clear cut. When you say I wasn't there, I don't know this guy's level of training, all that sort of stuff. What's your take on those sorts of things? Is training and being able to handle yourself and going straight for the gun?
Well, one thing I believe in is training. Like I say, for my sheriff's department, in Georgia, you only need 20 hours to train in a year just to keep your certification up. But my sheriff's made us do 60 hours a year. But one thing I learned, like different departments, they just don't have the resources to train. Like you go to some rural cities or departments where it's like maybe 3 or 4 people in the whole organization, they just don't have the budget to train. Also, like they lack equipment and different things. And then when you encounter somebody that might be aggressive, something like that, and you just never had that type of training, you only go for what you know. And I say, you never been trained to go hands-on with people besides the academy, and you've been on the job for 20 years. You go for what you know. And I'm not saying that it was all justified, and some of it wasn't, but it all depends on coming back to training. And that's why I believe that, you got to train people, but it all comes back to a money thing too. But like I say, you got to have money to be able to train these officers. You got to be able to have money to have the right equipment. Tasers cost money, OC spray, batons, all that. All these new things that are coming out for officers, it comes with money that you're going to have to pay for. And like I say, a lot of times, some of these places, I've seen places in Georgia where officers only making $10 an hour. I mean, you can't expect them to have a good training budget to bring people down there and help them, learn the different tactics needed to de-escalate. Like I say, even as a young officer, I had to go to verbal judo because, I was young. I went to a certain high school, like, you was taught to be tough. Like, you had to learn how to talk to people, learn how to build that rapport. That everybody's not trying to, bowl about you. You got to learn how to calm people down with your words. But some people just don't receive that training.
Right. That's been my biggest thing, to be able to use that verbal judo. De-escalation is, as the typical term is called now. But, in my career, I've been in the game over 20 years. And to be able to talk your way out of things, or not even talk your way out of it, to not even get in that situation in the first place, to calm people down, people put people at ease, but still have the officer presence that they know, hey, I'm not the one to mess with, so let's just be professional. Let's just handle it. If you got to go to jail, you got to go to jail, but I'm going to treat you with dignity and respect in the first place. And then, people see that and they respect that and they give it back to you. So that's where a lot of that comes from in the first place.
Yes, sir. Yeah, don't have to talk to people to help eliminate a lot of things.
Yes, you got to learn how to talk to people. As an FTO, I try to teach the young officers coming in. If you don't go in there with that attitude in the first place, and things a lot of reciprocal. What's that? Force meets force and all that sort of thing. So if you go in there with the attitude, they're gonna give you attitude back, and it's just a circular thing. So don't go in there with the attitude in the first place. Yes, sir. Yeah. So what other sort of things you do at the department? You got any collateral duties that you're doing over there, or?
No, not at this time. Like I said, I'm on the SWAT team also. Like I said, I just got on there about a year or so ago. Before,
I would say that's a pretty big collateral duty, though. SWAT, right?
Yes, sir. Well, I started off with the department. I always been a big guy. I like to eat. It's just one of my biggest things. That's why I had to work out so much. But I started off at like 315 pounds, and like for us, for SWAT, we had certain physical demands we had to meet. And like I say, I never been a distance runner. That's just not something I did. But for SWAT, you had to do certain things. So I had to lose weight to get on the SWAT team. You had to be able to shoot. And, that's one thing they always taught me, but they told me on SWAT team, you're SWAT or you're not. Either you're going to make the qualifications or you're not. So I had to get myself together to get on that team. And like I say, basically, we work on our shooting, we work on our cardio, work on clearing houses, just being a better law enforcement. So if something serious does happen and they call us, we'll be ready to act.
Right. So it's a collateral duty with your department, right? It's a part-time position, call out. It's not full-time, right? Yeah, same with my department. But there, some of those larger departments where they got a full-time team where that's all they do all day, air day is train and shoot, and so hey, it must be nice, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know about exercising all day, but I seen some teams like I watched one in Miami. They be doing that CrossFit stuff. I'm like, who's? Yeah.
A lot of guys on our team are into that CrossFit, and I'm not a big CrossFitter with the kipping pull-ups and all that type of stuff. I'm like, hey, y'all.
I tried it
y'all's
before,
joints.
but I tried it before, but my body just wasn't ready. This is that.
Right. Exactly. You hurting yourself. A lot of them come back with injuries. It's like, come on now, you're supposed to be working to get better, not to get injured. So to each his own, I guess. Do you guys get a lot of? You guys get a lot of activity on the SWAT team? A lot of call outs, or?
Not really in our county. Like say, for our county, we have other rural agencies around us, and they might call us out. But maybe on a year, we might get 5 call outs. Thank the Lord we haven't had anything serious going on where we had to, use force or anything like that. But we've been blessed to just be able to go out there, handle situations, and, clear up. So it's been pretty good, like I say. But most of the time, we might get 4 or 5 calls a year when we have to respond.
Okay. So what kind of interest you in law enforcement in the first place? What made you want to join this profession?
Well, I never even thought about being law enforcement. I went off, like I said, I went off to school to be in business management. For some reason, I thought I was going to business. I was 17. I went to school and I got my first refund check. So basically, I had money. So I blew that. So then I started working at a local convenience store or grocery store, and then my mother like did get back to school. So I just so happened to see one of the officers that was at the store that works, especially there. He was talking to another guy about becoming a police officer. He said, you need to go to the academy. So I ended up talking to him, and then he ended up, talking to me. He's like, it'll be a good thing for you. He said, you never done it before. Might be interesting. So I ended up signing up for the law enforcement through my other job, and I went through the academy. And then, like I said, after that, I fell in love with it.
Nice. Yeah, that's what it is. You get that first taste, and you hooked.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I took it. It's hard to do anything
kind of
else.
kind of like what you're into now, narcotics. It's a different kind of drug. It's the adrenaline rush. The adrenaline rush, yeah, it's fun, and also the different variety. You're not dealing with the same thing every day. Every day's different for the most part. Meeting different people, and I tried sitting in an office for a while, and that just drove me crazy. I couldn't handle it.
That's my thing. That's why I tell people I cannot be behind the desk. That's why I apply people in corrections, like seeing the same people every day, walking the same routine and all that. Like I say, it's just not for me. I know people love it, but it just wouldn't be for me.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned you went to school for business. What school did you go to?
Started off at Augusta State University, and then, like I say, eventually fell out of there. Then about maybe 4 or 5 years later, my current sheriff and another guy that's a chief investigator up there in Cobb County, DA Prescott, who's basically one of my mentors too. They're like, you need to go ahead and get your education. They say you got, the experience, you need to add education to it. Like I said, it'll help you out in the long run. So eventually, I signed up for school for University of Phoenix, and I did it online while I was at Payne College. So basically, I worked night shift. When the school quieted down, started doing my papers, went through my assignments, and then eventually I finished, got my bachelor's. And then I started to see that I wanted to start teaching. So I haven't started teaching yet, but I wanted to become a teacher of criminal justice, maybe at college and an adjunct instructor. So I went ahead and got my master's degree in criminal justice too.
All right, congratulations there, sir. Give you another round of applause for that. Yeah, I just finished up my master's as well in organizational leadership, just right here in 2020. So
yes,
yeah, it wasn't easy. Let me tell you. As working adults, all those papers, and man, I'm so glad it's over. You got any aspirations to go back and get the doctorate?
I thought about it, and I actually signed up for it last year. But then, like, as they were giving my coursework, and I was just seeing how much it was going to require me for like 2 or 3 years, like, honestly, I was going to have to vote. Time I got off work, most of my time doing schoolwork. And like I said, right now at this time, I wouldn't be able to do it. I've thought about it, but like I talked to my sheriff and other people, they're like, anything that you want to do right now, you can do with your master's. But basically, like the doctor, if you want to write books or you become a specialist in something, go ahead and get your doctorate. And I might do it eventually, but like right now, it wouldn't be the best idea because I have a lot going on. Like I said, I have different plans on going to different organizations and jobs in the near future. Yeah,
that's good stuff. And you mentioned earlier that you got kids that are in school. What's the home life? You married, single?
Yes, sir. I'm married. Married, and we got 5 kids.
I was like, which one? You both? Both of you married and single? Oh, okay.
Ooh, no,
that's how y'all doing in Georgia,
huh? I wouldn't be here talking to you. My wife heard that.
Yeah, no doubt. no doubt. How many kids you guys got?
Altogether it's 5. She had 3 from her previous marriage, and then we had 2 together, 2 young boys. So it's 4 boys, and the girl's the oldest.
All right, so you got a really interesting household there, huh?
Oh, full of wrestling and running around.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How old's the oldest?
She's 20. She'll be turning 20 this year.
Oh, okay. And how old is the youngest?
He's 3. He'll be turning 4 on the 13th of February.
Yeah. So you got a big range there, huh?
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Different dynamics, attitudes.
Yeah. That makes home life fun right there. So I brought that up because we were talking about continuing your education takes a lot of commitment from the family as well.
Yes, sir. Trying to keep them quiet and let them know that you're working. I mean, they got to get us in. Like, we're just going in our room, we don't disturb you. They know when you get into the midst of writing that paper, someone bother you, you can start snapping at them real quick. So you just got to remember, keep calm, just go play in the room for a little bit. Let me finish writing this paper. Just At one time, well, I still am. I was a procrastinator, so I waited till last minute anyway to do my papers and trying to control them and do my papers. It did come. It was an issue, but we worked through it.
Yeah. You sound like me. Same thing. Only thing, my kids are older. Like we talked off air. My son just started his first year of college this year. So last year when I got my master's, he was a senior in high school, and my daughter, she's a junior. Or is she a sophomore? What is she? Yeah, she's a junior. So like I was trying to say that I didn't have to worry about daddy, what are you doing? They old. Yeah. Don't do your own homework. Don't be worried about my homework.
All they ask is
but it's good that you got. Yeah, it's good that you got the wife to help you out on that. So got to have that family support. Are you originally from Georgia?
Yes, sir. I'm from Augusta, Georgia. I say most of my family's from North Carolina and Asheville, but my grandfather moved down here, I believe, for the military reasons, and we've been down here ever since.
All right. So no aspirations to go anywhere else, huh?
Oh yeah, my wife really wants to move. Like I said, I've been here my whole life, so in the meantime, like I said, I've been looking for different state and federal jobs to eventually be able to move. But state jobs are good, federal jobs are better. But the thing about federal jobs, they require a certain level of fitness. And like I said, they want you to run that PT test at a certain time. And that's what I've been working on, really, is my run. Like I said, they want you to run a mile and a half, like 12 minutes or less. And as a bigger fella, that's a push for me, but I'm working on it.
Okay, yeah. I know you can get there. What how big are you? What's your size? How tall are you?
I'm 6'1". Right now I'm about 275.
That's not that big. Yeah, I'm sure we could all lose some weight and want to be a little bit, but you probably put together a 275, not like a, because I can tell, at least tell in the face there, rotund, as they say.
I'm something like about 230 or 240.
Okay, yeah, put that work in. I know you get there.
That's like eat. Yeah.
Who you telling? You and me both. Like I said, on the day we're recording this, if you're listening to this in the future, today's Super Bowl Sunday. So as soon as Sergeant McCants and I get off here, we're gonna prepare for watching this game and do some more eating, right?
Okay.
Cool. So what are some of the challenges you have in your job as a police officer?
For me, like I say, I've worked in like different organizations, but just getting people to understand that we're not there just to lock people up has been one of the biggest challenges. Because, most time we are encountering people in the worst times when something drastic going on. We're just out there just lock people up and not listen to them. And I can tell people most of the time I'm going to pull you to the side. I'm going to separate parties if I need to, talk to them, just understand what's going on. But a lot of times they think, well, hey, we want to just clear the call and get it out the way. That's not the case. The best thing you can do is always talk to people, build rapport. Because while they might be going through something today, they might be the help you need tomorrow. And that's why you got to understand that you just getting people to understand that I'm there to talk, help them through the situation they're going through. And it's a challenge at times, but sometimes it works out to my favor. And just understanding that law enforcement and police officers in general are not there to harm you. I mean, most people don't believe that, but then you have some that's always had bad experience with law enforcement where they never see them until something bad goes on. And that's when it happens.
Yeah, no doubt. What's one of the most rewarding parts of your job?
Helping people. Like in our county, we have a pretty big county, but we have long stretchways of roads, and we have some pretty bad accidents out there. Just being able to get there to people first, helping them, survive what they're going through, helping them understand that, it's going to be all right. It could be worse. Just, while you're in the wreck, while you lost your car, you might be seriously injured. You didn't pass, and just get people understanding, better days are helping or are coming along. And then when they come back to you after like calls that have, been finished or a couple of weeks later and just thank you for being kind or helping them through this struggle they were going through, it's one of the biggest things.
Yeah. So, you're African American and your sheriff is also African American. What's the demographics like in Burke County?
It's about 50-50, I say, between it. And then, you have a Hispanic community. But like I say, it's about 50-50 between black and white.
Okay. And, during the summer with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all that type of stuff, how did that affect you guys in Burke County?
It really didn't affect us too much. we didn't have like too many incidents where people was trying to, having like protests and rioting and like that. We understand the seriousness of what went on and what occurred, but like the community that we worked in, like I said, they're most of them was police friendly. Like most of the community enjoys us. They know we're coming in to help and work, and like I said, we just haven't had no problems. Like with they had open discussion panels about what was going on across the country and what we could do to prevent it, but like I said, we just never had those type of incidents occur down there. And then, like I said, for the most part, everyone down there in the county, they might not be best friends with law enforcement, but they generally appreciate what we do. They know we're out there to help us.
Well, there were a couple incidents in Georgia during this 2020 as well. The Ahmaud Arbery, and then what was the other one in Atlanta as well? So
yes,
there's a couple things that happened. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So no blowback in Burke County because of those, huh?
No, sir. Well, the one that was running, we didn't have blowback, but I believe he got buried in Burke County. The jogger. Really? Yes, sir. I believe he got buried in Burke County, but we haven't had any blowback or anything like that, sir.
Good deal. How's you being an African American police officer, sheriff's deputy as well, out there? How's that experience been with you, as far as the community, as far as on duty, off duty? How's that experience been with you?
For the most part, for me, it's been good. Like I said, I've never really encountered like individuals that are just like so against police officers. Like, you might encounter ones like when you're about to arrest them or they're in trouble when they don't want to go to jail. They might get upset at you for being a police officer. Like, you're not trying to help them out or anything like that. But for the most part, I never encountered anything negative about being a police officer. Like, even from the people I went to school with, like, I wasn't known as being the best student, but I wasn't the worst student. But, they have a genuine appreciation for me being a law enforcement officer. And then they say they appreciate my service, and they know that at the end of the day, I'm going to do what's best for the situation. I'm just not going to do it because I'm a police officer.
Right. And how'd your family feel about you getting into the job? Your family and your friends?
Like I said, they didn't really care. Like I said, one of my uncles was actually a police officer for the police department that's up here in Augusta, but that was back in the day. But my mother didn't care. My wife got a little nervous about some different incidents that's been happening, like when police officers been ambushed and different things like that. But besides that, like I say, she's always been supportive. Our kids like it. My sons always said they want to be police officers, or they always want to go around playing with guns, shooting at people. So they watch a lot of live PD.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. All right. But how do you feel about them getting into the profession themselves?
Me, honestly, I wouldn't care. Like I said, as long as they're going to be safe and do what they need to do and be just honest with people and straightforward, that's perfectly fine. That's like I tell people with any profession, you can get hurt or injured doing anything. I mean, it's going to be a little bit heightened for us law enforcement officers, but at the end of the day, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, it's not criminal, I'm all for it.
Right. So long as it's not criminal, you don't want your kids involved in criminal activity, no doubt. Yeah,
it might be Pablo Escobar behind my back, and they're like, "Nah, I can't have
that." For real. Yeah. And of course, you want everybody to enjoy what they're doing in profession. There's so many times, and we talked about off air about our professions, wanting to get into it and all that type of stuff. I can see that people that don't really want to be in law enforcement that have this job. And those are the ones that kind of causing issues, they're disgruntled for whatever reason. They need to go, right?
Yeah, you got to phase them out. Like I say, one thing I learned in law enforcement, I say, either you're made for it or you're not. There's no in between with that. Like I say, and if you're on the fence about it, you probably should step out of it. I say it's just one of them things, but you can't come to work with bad attitude because you're dealing with other people that's going to have bad attitudes, having marital issues and all that. And you're supposed to be there to solve it. And then you're adding to it with your frustration and anger. It's going to make the situation go worse. I say you get to make the situation better, you can handle it, or you can make it worse.
No doubt. And, with a lot of this that's going on now with the defund, reform, police reform and all that type of stuff, now's the time for, if you don't want to be there, then now's the time to get out, right?
Yeah, go in, take a pension, do what you got to do.
Yeah. Because a lot of them, back in my day, we were able to do this and able to do that. Well, it ain't back in your day now.
Yeah, it's different now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's different. So it is what it is. So you either roll with it or move out the way, right?
Yes, sir.
No doubt. So what on that same note, what sort of changes have you seen? You know, you've been in the game for like a whole decade now. I mean to age you up like that, but you know, what changes have you seen in the profession just in the time you've been on it? You know, good or bad?
For the most part, like I said, we're starting to see officers become, you know, more in touch with the community. They're starting to build that rapport with them, and also that, you know, even now they're starting to bring back more of a proactive approach to law enforcement. Because being reactive to the situation, you know, is always a bad thing. You never want to react to after a crime happens. If you could deter it and prevent it from happening, you'd rather be more proactive to it. But just more departments are going towards that community relations and just understanding that, you know, you got to build that foundation with your community to help you solve these different crimes that are occurring when the officer's not there. So that's one thing, like my sheriff's real big on, was building rapport with people that you meet, talking to them, getting to know them. So like if something goes on, you're not there, and you need somebody, you know, that might have information, they'll be more willing to talk to you about it than just hold the information to themselves and not talking to you. Right.
No doubt. So, you know, this kind of goes along to what we were talking about earlier. You gotta want this job to move forward with it. So
yes, sir.
You gotta want it. You gotta want to be out there and be the change. So let's keep that going. Mm-hmm. Let's keep it going. You mentioned, you know, of course, obviously you are African American. Your sheriff is African American. What sort of opportunities for advancement? Obviously, you know, well, the sheriff's he was elected, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what sort of advancement for African Americans and other minorities in your department do you see?
Well, like I say, it's basically like 50-50 with, like, you know, people that have rank positions and all that. We do have a lot of promotions that goes on within our department. You know, at the end of the day, people get different jobs. People get we go to different departments and all that. Even from our organization, we had several individuals that worked at our sheriff department become chiefs of different departments. So once they leave, you have people fill that role. And basically what happens is, you know, position comes open, you'll have an interview. If you meet the qualifications for it, you put in for it, you'll talk to the people that's in that division, and basically like an oral board and all that, and then they'll decide on who's the best person for that position. And like I say, it's always been fair and honest, so whoever's the best person for that position is going to get it.
Nice. All right. Yeah, that's where we believe most of our departments should be, and hopefully they are. So sounds like yes, it is over there.
Yes, sir.
Keep that going. All right.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, since you've been on the job, I know in law enforcement we see a lot of crazy things on the job. Is there one call in particular that comes to mind where you can think, you know, that was either a crazy call or you couldn't believe this was happening, or, you know, even on the flip side where it was something that was really great that you helped somebody out with, and you know, it gave you that warm feeling inside. Anything comes to mind on a call?
Yes, well, like I said, I used to be part of the crime suppression team, and one of our jobs was like when the investigators had somebody in custody and we're transporting them to the jail. So anyway, lo and behold, one of my lieutenants had just got through interviewing this guy. He was about to go to jail for a long time, and I was supposed to transport the guy. So, you know, me being the bigger guy I was walking him to the door, and I was about to take him to my patrol car, and, you know, I had him basically by his shirt, and then someone called me or said something to me while I was talking to him, and I just happened to look back, and by that time all I hear is handcuffs jiggling. The guy had took off running. So after that, you know, I just screamed as loud as I could to let the guys know that I was running at this guy that was in handcuffs. He was a pretty, you know, smaller guy. He was about maybe like 6 feet, maybe 140, 150 pounds. So anyway, we're taking off after this guy. I'm the first one there. Jump over a fence. Well, he jumps over a fence. I run through the fence. He gets up. I try to tase him. Taser doesn't, you know, activate. Keep running. Run through another fence. Knock it over. It's a little wooden fence. Go across the street. By that time, I'm gassed. He's still gaining on me. It just so happened that Lieutenant and all them hear me, and I hear him coming. He's like, well, here comes the dog. I'm like, I ain't about to give you a dog. He didn't have a dog. He was just saying that to get the guy stopped, but the guy didn't stop. Then we had this one younger officer on my page named, you know, Dakota, and he's coming full speed. I could see him coming with his glasses down. I mean, he's coming full tip. By the time, you know, I'm breathing hard, just basically walking to get to the guy, and he's already running. And he was able to catch the guy still in handcuffs. You know, was able to bring him back to custody because it would have been kind of bad, a guy that was in handcuffs to get away from him. But oh no, he went to jail. So yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have never lived that down if he got away in cuffs, and they would have been clowning for days. Yeah,
yeah, they still
don't.
Yeah, they still let me know.
Yeah,
I'm just glad y'all heard me.
Yeah, that's a good thing about our profession. All the things that we see on the daily, you got to kind of not combat it, but deal with it with humor. And
yes, sir.
Our partners will get on you.
They tear you up
whatever
in a minute.
you do.
Oh yeah, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's another thing I love about our profession as well, is all the things that we do see on the daily. It's not the typical thing like we talked about earlier. Something different every day. And when you leave this profession, when you retire, you can say, with your buddies or your kids or what have you, there was a time when I did this and this happened. This story, like you just said, not too many of those stories when you're sitting, doing an accounting as an accountant, or
yes, sir,
or something like that. Remember that time when we balanced those books? Man, they was, you know what I mean?
Nice and neat. Yes, sir.
Yeah, they were nice and neat, and they were so overbalanced, and we brought it down. No, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So,
no, not at all.
Well, good. No. So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Well, the next 5 years, I'm hoping to get either, like say, a state or federal job, and maybe start adjunct instructing, becoming a criminal justice instructor at one of these colleges. Hopefully, I can get, by that time, we'll be able to teach in person. Like I said, I just feel like I connect more with person in person. I've always had great instructors. Like I said, my sheriff was one of my instructors in the academy. He's basically one of the people that put me on to be an instructor. Just had to teach style and different people that have taught me over the years. As you'll see how bad instructors, can be boring. You don't want to pay attention. You have the good instructors who might have boring information, but they still make you want to learn. So I always wanted to become an instructor, but hopefully becoming a special agent for one of these state or federal agencies is my next goal.
All right. Yeah. Well, good luck with that. I'm sure that you will achieve anything you put your mind to, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm sure you will. So when I was a Fed years ago, a couple different agencies, and the training center down there in Brunswick. How far is that from Burke County?
Let's see. I think it might be about 3 hours or 4 away from us. I've never been to it, but I know they always have training up there for federal law enforcement officers.
Yeah.
And they have a couple of positions that come over every now and then that I see about. Yeah.
They also have a lot of the defensive tactics and PT instructors were retired, local law enforcement, local state law enforcement too. So, they have those positions and other teaching classes as well. So you can look into that once you get your teaching credentials and all your credentialed up. Yeah, there's opportunities abound everywhere. So
yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It was lots of fun, a lot of good knowledge. You keep talking about you a big dude. You're not that big. You're not that big.
Well, when I get to running, it feels bad. Yeah, my back don't say that.
Yeah, running's not for everybody,
It's not. I can't stand it. I hate doing it, but I have to do it.
Yeah, but you got to do cardio. There's other ways you can do cardio, though, in the pool, on a bike, all that type of stuff. So, you can do it. I know you're in the fitness, but I know you've seen these podcasts in the past, and you know that this game is not quite over yet. So let me get you set. I got a game I like to play with my guests, and get this set up here. And this game is called
Black or Blue, 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 Black or Blue. Come on!
All right, this game here we're going to call Black or Blue. Your topic today is called Netflix and Chill. Netflix and Chill. All right, so I know you watch a little bit of TV with the fam, so we gonna get you this game here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna describe a TV show, and you tell me, does the title of that show have the word black in it, or does it have the word blue in it? Right? Real simple, right? Does the title of this show have black in it, or does it have blue in it? All right, so you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. So let me get to your first one. All right, so show number one, Harley Santos, New York police officer and single mother, is forced to work in the FBI's anti-corruption task force while dealing with her own financial problems.
I'm going to say blue.
You going to say blue? It would be correct. Shades of Blue with my girl J-Lo. You remember that show? You ever seen that show?
I have not.
I've never seen it either. I was surprised she was even on TV for a minute. I thought she was a movie girl, but yeah, she was on that for 2016 to 2018. Okay, so now you're 1 for 1. Your next show here, show number 2, an American correspondent pretends to go over to the Nazis in World War II, but is instead working for the officially neutral United States against Hitler. Black or blue?
I'm gonna say blue.
You would be correct. Blue Light, 1966. I've never heard of it, but hey, can't make this game easy for you. Can't make the game easy for you. So, all right, let's get here. Show number 3. A streetwise hustler is pulled into a compelling conspiracy after witnessing the suicide of a girl who looks just like her.
I'll say black.
Oh, that was a good guess. Orphan Black. Orphan Black.
Man, I've never seen none of these.
Yeah. I had to dig deep because there's not too many shows, with the names either black or blue in it. So
I don't think my police shows. That's what I'm thinking, man.
Right. No, this is Orphan Black. But hey, you 3 for 3, man. You getting it. Show number 4. All right. 7 top teenage surfers are selected to live in a training facility attached to a high school. At the end of the year, only 2 will get sponsorship and a wild card for the professional circuit. Black or blue?
You say blue.
You would be correct. Blue Water High. 2005 to 2008. You ever seen that one?
Never.
Nope.
I've never seen that.
Looks like it's trying to be like a Saved by the Bell or, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Saved by the Bell, did you ever watch that show? You ever watch Saved by the Bell back then?
Screech died.
Yeah, yes, Screech died, man. Rest in peace to Screech, man. But you doing well on this. Yeah, you doing well. Your next one here. Show number 5. This reality show follows Texas oil men who gamble everything for a chance to make millions.
Texas
Oil would be correct. Black Gold, 2008 to 2013. Another show I never seen, but hey, you crushing it though, man. I think it's my descriptions, right?
Yeah, it's a process of elimination. That's all I'm going with.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Your next one here, show number 6. A crusading school principal gets back into action as an electrical superhero. Electrical superhero.
It's blue.
Oh man, I thought you would get that one. That's Black Lightning. Look over my shoulder. See that right there?
I've never seen it.
You never seen Black Lightning? That was a good show. Yeah, it's getting canceled here pretty soon. I put 2020. It's actually 2021. It's going to get canceled last season here. Great show. But I'm into that type of stuff. If you can kind of tell from my background here. All right, you got one wrong. That's all right. We get you through here. Couple more here. Show number 7. The dramatized World War II adventures of a U.S. Major Gregory Pappy Boyington and his U.S. Marine Attack Squadron.
Say black.
Oh, there you go. Correct. Baba Black Sheep. 1976 to 78. Another one you never heard of, huh?
Yeah.
Has there been one that you heard of? Well, I mean, come on. There's Netflix and there's... Okay. You said before you were born, that's what TV Land's for, bro.
Yeah.
Reruns.
Man, I ain't never seen none of these shows.
Okay, all right. But you still get through it. 2 more here for you. Show number 8. This is the untold story of how aerospace was central to the growth of Southern California and its emergence as an economic power.
They blue?
Oh, Process of Elimination, Blue Sky Metropolis. Yes, 2019. I think that was on PBS. Miniseries there. And your last show. In the dark, early days of a zombie apocalypse, complete strangers band together to find the strength they need to survive and get back to their loved ones.
I'm gonna say black.
You would say black and you would be correct. That is Black Summer. You got more right than you got wrong, so we gonna call you the winner. See, you did that. You did that thing, man. It shows you never even heard of. You just breezed through. I think it was my description just gave it up to you, man.
Yeah, process of elimination. Yeah, that's
process of elimination. That's why you the sergeant over there in narcotics, man. You can kind of, figure things out. Man. All right, Sergeant, I appreciate you coming on, man. It was fun. And like I said, you breezed through that.
Sure.
Yes, this is good stuff, man. And keep the workout going, and you're gonna reach that goal weight. I got a few I need to lose too. I'm like 200. I want to get down to like 195, 190. So, 5-10 pounds. Hey, we all got our cross to bear, right?
Yeah, I said we all get our. I just like to eat, so we'll see how that goes.
Today I'm gonna get it in. Man. We gonna be on the grill.
I got a Super Bowl party I'm going to. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be on the grill, wings, carne asada, chicken. Man, I'm ready. So, all right. Next year the Niners will be there. So, so long as Jimmy G can stay off the injured reserve, he'd stay injured.
Oh, last time Niners played, my team beat them. So, I'm just.
What? Who's that? You said the Ravens? Oh,
yeah.
Stop. I'm gonna end this call right now. No, I think you for coming on, man. I had lots of fun with you. Thank you. You be safe out there in Burke County.
Yes, sir. Same to you.
All right, Square Pegs, that's it for this episode of the Black and Blue Podcast. I want to thank my guest here today, Sergeant Eric McCants of the Burke County, Georgia Sheriff's Office, for joining me here today. If you guys enjoyed this episode as well, make sure you like and subscribe to the show on the Black and Blue Podcast YouTube channel or whatever podcast platform you hear me today. I'll be back next week with another fun-filled episode. Same black time, same black channel. But till then, y'all know what to do. Stay black and blue. I'll holler at you. Peace. Peace.
This has been a Maitre D' Entertainment presentation.